This is the all-new generation of the VW Tiguan, and here with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with all the changes, and the most obvious one in the front, you can maybe already see it, it is more aerodynamic. From a CD value of 0.33, it moves to a CD value of 0.28, so it's massively more aerodynamic than the predecessor, promising a better consumption and probably also more silent on the inside. And this is another thing, they try to make it a little bit more upmarket. You can now order an optional insulation pack that not only the front windscreen is better insulated, that is standard, here also the side mirrors, front and rear. I'm going to show you that very soon. In the styling in the front, this is here the R-Line, it's a sporty model. It has a lot of huge black accentuations in the lower part here. You can see also how the grille is formed here. This is the real air intake, by the way. The light strip goes all the way across when it has one of the higher trim LEDs. This is here the highest LED trim, the IQ Light. It's the Matrix LED. The length now here at 4 meters 54 or 179 inches. That's just 3 centimeters or an inch longer, same compact dimensions. Wheels from 17 to 20 inch. These are the biggest 20-inch wheels. And you can see the R-Line has the contrasting wheel arches painted in high gloss black with an additional R badge right here. Then towards the side, you can see not so much has been done, at least visually, but once again, aerodynamics is totally a thing. So they have optimized every single detail to make it more aerodynamic. And soon when we do a driving part, we'll also find out more about the consumption. Big technology news also as for the DCC, the adaptive suspension. It rules, of course, as always, in a certain area, comfort to sport, and then you can use different presets. And now there's a new DCC Pro, that's the second generation DCC, so to speak, and that is ruling with a 2-valve shock absorbers, so supposed to bring you more sportiness and comfort at the same time. These tinted rear windows, by the way, are one pack combined with this optional acoustic window pack I've been talking about. And if you want to have it a little bit more upmarket and silent, this is definitely one of the options to go for. Then towards the rear, the R-Line once again adds this really spectacular lower bumper, and the Autogefühl fake exhaust police was successful once again because there are no fake exhaust anymore here with the R-Line. So obviously they've listened to feedback here from our channel and from you also as a car customer. And there's more of that to come very soon in the interior. But first of all, take a look at these lamps. New light signature here, very three-dimensional. Also here elements behind each other, and the light strip goes all the way through right here. Here in this highest LED trim, also the turning indicators are a little bit cooler here in this cascading style. And the same also accounts for the rear. I think it's a good combination of making things more visible and playing a little bit more with light. And another color for you, this one is called Light Cypressino Green. Maybe like this light camouflage color somewhat. And this being the Elegance trim, you can also see it's a little bit more subtle in the design here in the lower part, just with the plain black cladding. And the Elegance trim also features a more elegant design. In the front here, more horizontal chrome stress, so less sporty than the R-Line. Which one would you prefer? Tell me in the comments. This is the khaki, high gloss black. Not my favorite, honestly. Door closing sound. That's really solid, pretty cool. So very good door closing sound. Also here the panel gaps and so on. That looks like good build quality for this respect. Then we have also soft materials at the inside of the doors. We also have this illuminated insert then here, and new opening mechanism from the inside here with more space around. There's also felt at the inside of the lower door pockets. So far, so good, everything. Then this being the R-Line also features the R-Line steering wheel. And remember, R-Line steering wheel and the true Tiguan R had these new capacitive BS buttons on the steering wheel. You know, hashtag capacitive BS is a thing at Autogefühl. Now they moved back to real buttons, the base versions anyway, but also R-Line get the real buttons here on the steering wheel again because they listened to the feedback here also on Autogefühl in our channel. So it's always worthwhile commenting that the manufacturers react to that. Here, the seats. These are the former True R seats that are now also available for the R-Line with integrated head restraint. Fabric on the inside, breathable, then some microfiber accentuations at the side, and leatherette on the very outside is also the Ergo Active seat that is also coming with the massage function. And they are really very comfortable. They cage you in a way, but you have enough space to move around. So even for 189 or 6'2", it's really good comfort and sportiness at the same time. I can just applaud them for that. And here, a lot of headroom left, no problem. Even though this is the one with a panoramic roof, you can apply a shade. There's like a, let me turn on the ignition. So you either can have a black shade here when it's really, really hot, goes all the way through. So for hot days, it's really important. And of course, you can also open it properly. The only thing I don't like that much are these sliders here. So these are not real buttons. You have one slider for the shade, one slider for the roof. But what's cool is that it's really wide in the total opening. Steering wheel up and down, in and out, good process. Here at the steering, they do not have any alternatives yet. So they're not following the philosophy of the ID models there. But what has changed is the gear selection. You see you have now two stall columns here, the one for the wiper and also for the turning indicator, both combined. The right stall column is then for the switch gear, like forward here, D mode, side P mode, and like this for reverse. Interior cockpit overview. Wow, look at that. In your face with this 15-inch screen. 13-inch would be base, and this one then the optional one. Is it maybe already too large, or do you think it's pretty cool? Tell me in the comments. Then, here on the right side, in the base it would be a plain black decor element. But here actually it changes the color then according to the experience mode you are in. And this is an always backlit for the top models, the R-Line and the Elegance. Another upgrade, the head-up display is now a proper one projected into the windscreen, not that separate plastic layer. And not anymore this separate plexiglass layer that came up here, so a real one now. Digital instruments also change the color depending on this mood you pick. And you can also change the whole view, for example, to this map view. And it's also once again now, as it used to be in very past models, was removed meanwhile. And now it's brought back here that the map is being displayed behind these digital gauges. In the screen, the most important thing is now it is quicker than before, so that's actually good. And then you have this main menu here, actually with a good overview. And here you can also pick these experience modes, but at the same time you can also pick the background moods. And yeah, you have to dig deeper into that to find the real difference between that, honestly. Here then, the temperature either there in the screen or also with these sliders, and these sliders are now finally backlit. That's also a step forward, and volume control is here, but we also still have a physical volume knob. And here we have it. So it's the manual volume knob in the center console now, and it even has a nice haptic and also acoustic feedback. And when you press it, then you come to the driving mode selection for the DCC, for example, when you have the adaptive suspension and can change the driving modes, and that changes then throttle input, suspension and so on. I think it's a good solution to be able to change this one not only in the infotainment and still at the same time have the volume knob. And yeah, I think overall a good new idea, definitely. These color switches, by the way, are also appearing in this new experience selector. So you can see it also can switch the color inside. New feature also here, you can fold this one up, and then there are two USB-C chargers, and option also two inductive charging pads. And what you can't see, just feel it actually, they are also cooled, so there are some ventilation holes here. They're connected to the AC. Lower middle console, these cup holders are adaptive, but you can also take them out completely. And then under the armrest, you actually have a lot of space and even more separators. Now to the rear compartment, let's take a look. First of all, inside of the doors. This is sadly hardback now and more high gloss black. However, I like the new door opener, definitely. Soft than here. Then take a look, also the R-Line with the special fabric, for example, and the blue contrast. You can see with these straps here, you can control the back part, and you can also slide the seats forward and backwards. So that's actually quite cool. Let me show you. First of all, when I'm sitting behind the driver, as a tall person, still have enough legroom. So the usage of space is really good. Also, as for the headroom, this has been increased a little bit in comparison to the predecessor. You can also slide this one here forward a little bit, then you have more trunk, or all the way back for most legroom. And here you can see you can put this one really steep, also once again for more trunk, or more backward for a more comfortable seating position. In the middle part, can you sit here? Yeah, that's actually possible. So for 5 tall adults, it works. It's actually fairly comfortable. Of course, the outside seats are more comfortable. And then in the middle part here, you have a climate unit, warmer or colder with touch. Also seat heating in the high trims, or if you ordered that, and 2 USB-C chargers. Electric hatch opening, and then the trunk is now at 650 liters. That's 30 liters more than before. The width here, a good meter of 40 inches, and the length is more like 88 centimeters or 34 inches. Of course, always good height here, even below the cover at 40 centimeters or 16 inches. Total one, of course, you can take this one out, and then you can fold the seats right here. Easy solution, good for the family. Folds quite flat, or you just push it right through like here. And the absolute length here to the front seats as I'm driving is about 80 meters or 66 inches. Interesting also, underneath this cover here, you have more space, for example, also for a spare tire. And you can see here this subwoofer, when you have the top sound system, has this L form now. So yeah, it fits, of course, with the replacement tire, but also now with the hybrids. So the hybrid can now also have the subwoofer. Oh, and by the way, the floor here underneath the replacement tire, clown's face, anyone? For some, this is the favorite feature, the retractable tow bar. So when I press this one, there we go. Oh, this can actually, oh, this is really dangerous how that one comes out. And when you press it once again, then you have to press it on the inside. There are better solutions for that nowadays on the market that directly go in, but here it's like that. Maximum towing capacity at 2.3 tons. And by the way, we haven't done the child safety test for quite a while. Let's see how the electric hatch moves. Yeah, very good and sensitive. As for engines, first of all, gas struts on both sides. It's nice. This here under is the 2-liter TDI, 4-cylinder diesel, 150 or 193 horsepower. The latter one combined with all-wheel drive. On the petrol side, a little bit more news. First of all, we start with the 1.5 TSI. This is mild hybrid technology with 130 or 150 horsepower. And then you have the 2-liter TSI, the stronger one actually, a little bit more displacement, also higher horsepower figures, 204 or 265 horsepower, both with all-wheel drive. But the biggest news concerns the plug-in hybrid based on the 1.5 petrol engine, now with a bigger battery, double the size, 20 kilowatt hours net, and this will approximately be a range of like 80 kilometers or 50 miles, something like that. And also better recharging possibilities, AC 11 kilowatt and DC 50 kilowatt, doing some 25 minutes from 10 to 80% state of charge. So overall, design-wise, I feel it has lost a little bit of the stance it had before. Yeah, but then again, aerodynamics plays such a huge role, and it will be better in the fuel economy because the drag coefficient it is now so much better. Interior is still a good package. Important is that you have this new infotainment system, which is now quicker and larger, of course, in these 2 different sizes, but they seem to have worked even more now with the software status. And they listened to the feedback. No fake exhaust here, then also real buttons at the steering wheel. So actually 2 steps in a very good direction, definitely. Then as for the drivetrains, of course, the hybridization upgrade, this one is the most important one, that the plug-in hybrid versions get the bigger battery. And as for the model logic and the Northern American market, let me clear up a few things. First of all, so far you had the Tiguan and the Tiguan Allspace in Europe. The Tiguan Allspace with a longer wheelbase. The Tiguan Allspace was the Tiguan in the Northern American market. Well, and the future will be European version, this Tiguan, and there will be the so-called Tiguan. That will be a longer wheelbase, overall bigger car, but also different on the interior. And this Tiguan will be the new US Tiguan. If you didn't understand it, maybe just rewind and then play it again. It's a little bit complicated. I always feel it's too complicated. I would always push manufacturers for they do one model naming and do the same model for the for the whole world actually, because people are watching the video say, hey, why don't we get this car in this very respect and so on. Yeah, or maybe just launch a car on this market but then call it differently or something. That's my opinion. What's yours? Tell me in the comments. and also what do you think about the new Tiguan, and also compare to other compact SUVs.